everyone, Ivy League Gaming here, and today we're playing Dragonheir Silent Gods. For today's video, I kind of wanted to do an honest review of Season 2 and how I feel about the game as I have entered my third season. Alright, so we're going in, and yeah, it's the third full season I'm playing. I did CBT 2, which was Season 0, which was a full season of 90 days of gameplay. So when I went into Season 1, I already had a pretty well-developed roster started. Season 2, I was really popping. So this really feels different. It's not just a Season 2 for me. It's more than that, you know, which does have a pretty big impact on the gameplay. So I kind of wanted to just briefly talk about the good and the bad and how I feel about this lovely new season here. Just candid, a little bit mixtures of, yeah, everything. So I think when it comes to the game overall, I initially really liked the idea of seasons. I liked the idea of things resetting and going back to almost nothing. I actually really liked that because I am someone who gets bored of games usually, or I'm just very easily distracted by the new and shiny. Well, I mean, it's natural. I feel like it's more normal for people to get excited by new games coming out than it is to play the same game for 5 years when it comes to these mobile games, especially with this gacha genre. And I feel like the idea of seasons keeps it fresh. You come in each season, you have your rankings, your rewards, you start off with some summons, and you start off with different stuff to make your next season journey feel different. And I think that was the exciting part for me, was the idea that we were going to be having all new synergies and heroes where I'm going to use different people. Like, okay, in Season 1, I focused heavily on poisons. I didn't have a poison legendary. Well, I think I eventually got him, but I never used him. And I eventually got him from the horn, but I never used him. But I actually used, like, Eli as my main DPS, and I played really lightly in Season 0. Kind of barely played, honestly, toward the end, but still ranked okay to get some rewards. In Season 1, I played with Flora as my main Vortex. Team Flora Wild, you know, Erich, Tunnelnon, all the fun stuff, as you would expect. If you have a Flora, why wouldn't you use her, right? But I didn't want to use Flora again this season. I wanted to do something different. So I'm actually quite happy that they introduced Ice Blast the way they did, and I am really enjoying my Ice Blast team with Garthen the Epic as my main DPS. It's been fun. So I like that aspect for sure. I'm really happy that they're mixing up the elements and combining every season will be different elements mixed up, and that does affect how you build your teams. Now, the negative of this is I don't think they're aware of their own games sometimes. So, when it comes to, I don't know, when it comes to dealing with the different roles you need for a team, for each boss, for each dungeon, for whatever, I feel like there's some important niches that we really need to fill. So I feel like attack penalty is one of those things that we've talked about a lot, which is why we were so disappointed about Rose, for example, because attack penalty is so helpful against a big boss fight like Vortex, right? But there's so few heroes in certain elements that do it. Like, there's a few here. Luckily, Yola's really good. Shook's okay for lightning, but not many options, right? Radiant. These guys that do it are on a battle skill, or Clovis does it on his ultimate, but he's not a boss hero. He's an arena hero. Ice. Again, none of these guys do it consistently on an ultimate, where you could time it. Unless you have Vinyara, maybe, right? Is she an ultimate? Yeah, she's the ultimate. That's it. Really, really limited. So when Rose didn't work, that's why we were so disappointed, because there's just no options for attack penalty. I feel like unless you have Sagomir or unless you have Donella, But so you're just again relying on these legendaries, and Rose just doesn't do enough to bring her into a vortex fight. You can't bring in someone only for attack penalty and literally nothing else. So that was why we pushed so hard for justice for Rose, because we want her to work for Vortex. Just really want her to work for Vortex to give people another option, because there's no option in Radiant to use for Vortex. None of these people. And then the synergy this season is Ice. There is no option to use for Vortex at all from any of these people either. Vinyara might be the best option, and so they're just, that's it. One legendary? I guess I can't say, same thing up here, Sagomir would be really solid for Vortex too. But it's still not good enough, and I feel like they need to be a little bit more aware of when they're pairing up their synergies, what does each class need? So when they do introduce new heroes to the game, they're like, okay, we have Ice and Radiant coming in as a synergy next season. Do we have enough healers? Let's check healing. That's now a thing. Okay. Wow, there is nothing for healing in Ice. Wait. Is that true? There's... Ice has no healers. Okay, but it's paired up with Radiant. Radiant has a ton of healers. Garius, Catherine, even Corian and Meredith. Okay, they're fine for healing. So that synergy's okay. But that's the thing I really want this game to work on in the future, maybe, is this company, the developers, is being more aware of their synergies and fulfilling important roles. What about shields? Okay, we're coming more and more reasons to need shields. Especially if you think, again, Vortex is a good example, because you get to the point where, like, you need shields instead of healing at the late game, or and more. Like, there's so many limited options for shields. And I feel like, luckily, I am missing the two best ones, go figure. And some of these people just put little shields on themselves, so that doesn't really count. A few of these people actually do a little bit more, so it's like finding a balance. Not a single poison hero brings a shield. So weird. That's kind of my biggest critique of this season, I think, is the lack of balance with fulfilling different roles. So I feel like they should even communicate with the community. Ask us, what are the main roles you think we need for every team that you would feel like every synergy needs a few options that are not legendary for, and make sure every season they have a good pairing or new heroes that they introduce, even if they are legendaries, at least let them fulfill those roles. All right, so that's like kind of on the negative side. The positive and negative side would be this beautiful world, right? They added this lovely new world, this the island chain, and it's really, really cool. I actually think it's quite beautiful. I love the underwater. I think that's super fun. But it was over before it even began, and that's where the negative comes in. So I don't think they understand or I guess know the limits of a gacha gamer. We grind, we have fun. If we can play nonstop for 12 hours a day on the first day a game comes out, we're gonna do it. Not everybody, obviously, but a lot of people play that way. And you introduce this beautiful world, and in 3 days, the story is done. And that's really sad for me, honestly. I want to be forced to come around this world, collect stuff. I want to be engaged in this new thing that they created and worked so hard on, because it's beautiful. Look how beautiful this is. It's gorgeous. They did a great job with the visuals, right? Very pretty, very interesting. Lots of little details here, but we have no reason to run around this world anymore after you're done with the story. And there's like 1 or 2 commission side quests, whatever, sometimes. There's a little bit to do, but like there's no rifts that happen over there. No reason to pop over for a quick rift. There's 1 boss that you're gonna go over there for. That's it. The whales I was excited for, but then they ended up feeling pointless because they kind of reset every time. So like that was one thing I thought was gonna be part of the fun of this new land. Was, okay, we have these whales that we go and get swallowed. by, I guess. And I was like, oh, cool. The whales pop up every day. We have an excuse to go farm for some resources by purposefully getting eaten by a whale. All right, cool. But the sad part is, once we've already got a chest from a whale in that spot that generates, it doesn't come back. So like, okay, cool, we can grab a rockweed, great. And another, what's, like, there's no reason to come here and go and engage with the whales. So that's one of my negative critiques, would be like, give us reasons, be more generous. I think that's one thing this game struggles with, is being generous. It's kind of stingy sometimes with in-game resources and with just currency in general. I don't quite understand that, honestly. I don't. I really wish we could have ways to, have excuses, have reasons to go play in these other areas, besides just coming back to do your NPC fights, because you guys probably already forgot about most of them. I really wish they'd be more generous with the rewards. Let these whales populate with a chest that gives us like 20 worm arrow or something every day, and these whales rotate every few hours. There's a new whale popping up in a different spot. Give us a reason to hop on a boat and go get swallowed by a whale, not just one time ever, then never do it again. That's one thing I think could spice up some of the engagement in the game, especially in this beautiful area that, again, they created this gorgeous area that is super fun. I think they did a wonderful job, and that's definitely a positive. The season, they nailed the aesthetics. It's really beautiful. But then once we've done the things, there's no reason to hang out in it anymore. That would kind of be an honest feedback and hope for change in the future. And along that lines, the way that they added these little bit of quests, okay, this is an area that it got expanded. We still go back to the same map. We still farm the same bosses. We still go to the same areas. So I feel like there's less and less of a need for seasons. It just doesn't, the season idea doesn't make sense anymore. Like I said, I love the idea in the beginning, but I don't think seasons make any sense for this game. I like the idea of a reset of some sort, but maybe they could do it in a different way that's not seasons. Like, okay, I do love the idea of having to, it's weird. I like grinding from scratch. I'm having fun choosing different people to level in a different order and work with different people for different dungeons, or the Chaos Shadow type bosses, the ones that are going to be coming for the UTR style event with Ardreth. This is going to be fun to play with some burn heroes. Why not? It's new to the game. Let's actually use them. Or Ferrara, someone else that can buff strip and prevent buffs like Voresh. I never built her. Let's use her this time. But maybe they could just have some sort of different resets that are global on a certain day of the month, or a certain day of every X amount of months. Could be every 3 months. Every 3 months, there is a day where some things reset. Maybe not everything. Maybe we get to keep our gear. Maybe we get to keep our heroes leveled even. But maybe there is a hero reset day where we get the nice Clepsydra Torrent, where we can have a week of resetting heroes as much as we want back to 1 and testing out new ones and then choosing who to play with. Maybe every 3 months this comes back in the form of not new servers, not dividing the player base, but in the form of, letting us have a ranking reset. Like, yes, there can be rankings. There doesn't need to be seasons to be rankings. Every 3 months you could push to have fun with trying to rank, and then the rankings reset in 3 months. And then after the rankings reset, there's this fun event where you can choose to reset some of your heroes and start playing with new ones, because we just had a patch, and the patch includes new heroes, new synergies, new elemental affinity changes to bosses. That could just be a simple patch. And I think the player base would be a lot happier. I think they would retain players a lot better. So that way when new players start the game, they're not forced to feel like they're 90 days behind or 180 days or even more in the future. That would be really terrible if that continues in that trend. But I don't mind the idea of making people go through the story and unlock things in a logical manner. I would just like to see the season 1 content after, I guess, I don't know. Now that season 2 is out, and then there'll be a season 3 and the season 4, if they are going to do seasons, or I think they should just get rid of seasons, don't time gate the content. Just let people push as fast as they want through it. If they want to do in 3 days, if they want to play the entire season 1 and be ready to pop on over to Increscent, let them. Like, don't hold them back. I think that would help a lot of players be happy as well. But yeah, overall, I'm honestly happy with the game. I'm not disappointed overall. I'm just disappointed in how short the seasons have been, or how short the content, has been for like all of this. That kind of made me sad. I'm disappointed that they don't seem to pay attention to what they're lacking in their game, which again is why we have Justice for Rose, because we need attack penalty people for Vortex that have it on an ultimate that we can time, but also bring more than just attack penalty and literally nothing else. We might need, just make her heal. I don't even care if she dispels or not. Heal, dispel though, great. And attack penalty. She could be a top tier Vortex hero, but she's not. And there's no one else that is. But then you go over to Poisons and they have a million attack penalty people. Or like, we have Furboth, we have V-Cook, we have some that have it on their battle skills. We have lots of options. So be more aware of what they're missing in their game would be great for future hero additions, to make sure maybe some of these quirky epics we get can fulfill a role, to have a good reason to try to push to get them, instead of him just being a different version of Goom that we got last season. Maybe make him be able to fulfill a role that Poison really needs, whatever that may be. Oh yeah, shields. There's no shielder in Poison. Things like that I would like to see. And then I think, yeah, overall, just reworking the idea of seasons. I think they need to rework the whole concept of seasons. It's just not working, and the player base is constantly leaving. I always have comments where people are confused and sad that they opened their game and they knew they had an update, and then all of a sudden their characters were level 1 and their gear was gone. Like, it doesn't seem as clear as it should be to people, and I just think seasons are not the answer. And if it is seasons, it's seasons for the sake of rankings and fun rewards and patches where they're expanding the beautiful world, but not creating new servers and making players start from the beginning that take very, very, very long time to catch up with the rest of the people if they want to, content-wise. I'm not saying a new player comes in and should be doing the same thing as someone who's played for 3 months, 6 months, but they should have the same opportunity to get the fun new heroes, or I don't know. There's definitely gotta be a different solution. But I love the game. The game is beautiful. I really genuinely love the game. The aesthetics are stunning. I'm enjoying the grind. I have fun opening up the dungeons and pushing some content every day and going to Vortex and seeing if I can make my team better. This is one of the first games where I genuinely look forward to testing things. Usually I'm kind of like, once I do it, I don't want to do it again. I'm not that excited to test most times in games, really. It's just not my forte. But in this game, I love the idea of trying to push my Vortex to the limit, change my timings a little bit, and it makes me know that I genuinely do love the game. I'm not just saying it because sometimes I have sponsored videos and streams, which this video obviously is not. But I genuinely love the game. I think it's wonderful and it has so much potential. I don't know what they got to do differently, but there needs to be some changes with this whole season setup. I think most people could agree with that statement. Even though I am loving the idea of seasons, I just don't think it works. I really don't think it works. But on that note, like, this is the game I want to encourage people to play. I love it. I think it's wonderful when I have people that play the other game I play ask me about what other games should I play in between times when I'm just grinding Watcher in the background. I'm like, play Dragonheir, give it a chance, I want to suggest this game, and I think it's just a ton of fun. And I think the devs have done a job creating a beautiful game. and I want to appreciate that as well. But it's such a mixed bag of love and hate, and from the player base in general. And I'm hoping it can only go up in the future because I do want to keep playing. And luckily, I have gotten a sponsorship from them a few times, and I'm about to start another one where now I have an excuse to stream almost every day. Now I'm streaming 4 days a week now on Twitch with Dragonheir on Twitch live 4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I will be making fun videos, clips, team showcases, summon videos, all the things. I will be doing everything on Twitch. I'll be making, the videos. I'll be making highlights. I'll be making educational stuff. And luckily, we should be getting a real test server soon. So when I get that, I can really do testing. We could live stream testing a burn comp somewhere. We could live stream testing something different that I've never tried before. And I'm looking forward to that. So stay tuned for lots of content from me, guys. This is a game I love overall, and I hope you guys do too. I would be playing this game if I never got like a sponsorship, I would still be playing this game. I want you guys to know that just because we have sponsorships sometimes doesn't mean we're lying. It doesn't mean we're not genuine when we say good things about a game. It means like we're lucky. I'm lucky that this game values its content creators enough to try to hold on to them by giving us sponsorships sometimes, by having not even who cares about the sponsorships. They have a paying content creator program, which is amazing. They have tons of rewards for content creators to make it worth and give us extra excitement to keep creating content. They have giveaways that we get to give our community, which, by the way, my giveaway is going on now. If you haven't already seen my last YouTube video, stay tuned, go watch it. And on Monday, the winners will be picked. So I love that they do value their content creators. Nothing is perfect. This is their first game ever. You could tell they're a little bit inexperienced with some things, but overall, I love Dragonheir, and it's the game I've been the most excited to open for a really long time, and I really, really hope that things go up and they can find a happy medium between their vision and the community's feedback for the future. But all right, guys, thank you for hanging out with me with my rambles today and my thoughts on Season 2 and my experience with the game so far. I thought it was time for a proper check-in, but I'll see you in the next video or live on Twitch.